Hey everyone, this is a little impromptu video here. I thought I would show you some of the sculpting that I'm doing on my Graduate Owl Ornimals, Graduate Owl Ornaments. Have some here in various stages of completion. This is a completed owl, his little graduation cap and tassel. This is how they look mid-stage. With an acrylic wash on the sculpture. Here we have some that are in process, have their feet, they need to have their little graduation cap created, and that's raw clay. So the Graduate Owl Ornimals are 2 to 2 3/8 inches. That was Pippin. And so what I will show you today is how I was sculpting the feet and putting the graduation cap on the ornament. So this one here, the feet are already on, and I'm just going to texture his feet. I use this little sculpting tool. If you've ever seen the feet on owls, they're actually kind of furry with the way the feathers lay on them. And they look pretty sharp with those talons they've got. So by scratching in the clay this way, I'm trying to imitate that furry, feathery look on their feet. And we'll put this on both the inside and the outside of their claws. Add a little markings on each talon. Smooth those out a little bit. And just a few more little hash marks scratched into their feet. And all these marks that I'm making in the clay show up when the acrylic wash is put on the clay after it's cured, hardened in the oven. Okay, this little guy needs some feet, so now I'm going to sculpt his feet. I use a super sculpty sculpting clay. That's just my personal preference. It's a fairly malleable clay, soft, which is what makes it nice for sculpting. Sometimes it gets a little too soft and then you have to leach it. That's okay. Leaching is the act of drawing some of the oil out of the clay. And that in turn makes the clay stiffer. Now these particular ornaments, the glass base here is 2 3/8 diameter, so I'm going to make his feet a little larger than on the 2-inch ones. I just roll some of that clay into little egg shapes and try to get them approximately the same size. And then roll them into little logs. Again, trying to keep the size fairly consistent. And then I do a little pinch here at the top and start with the back talon. And this isn't always exact. Sometimes you're just eyeballing the size, length, shape. I'm looking, here it is, for my an X-Acto blade. And I take the blade and I cut 3 marks into the front of the clay. These will become his front talons. Spread those open. And then to make the talon, start pulling and stretching those little cuts. Gently twist, rock it back and forth, side to side. There, getting a little foot claw for the owl. As I said, the Super Sculpey clay is soft and easy to work with, so you can manipulate it pretty easily. Press that, flatten it a little bit. Okay, so now we'll take this sculpted owl and we're going to attach his feet. And the fun part here was learning to place the owl almost dead center on those feet. I have some where they lean back a little or they might lean forward, which is fine. You know, it gives him a little different personality. All depends on if that's the look you're going for. Let's see if I can stretch these talons out a little bit. Back. Tap those down. Don't want them to have feet curling up. There we go. And just a little gentle pressure to make sure that those are sticking to the bottom. And then we'll add the texture, the feathering. This tool that I'm using is a Kemper tool. It is a sculpting tool. Has this little needle on one end and this flat, almost like a flat shovel on the opposite end. So it serves two purposes, where you can do this poking and pulling of the clay. And this other end makes these nice little pointy marks that look like little feathers in the clay. Okay. And some more feathering. Okay, so there you have it. There's his feet and the brood here, all with their little feet. Okay, so what I need to do next is to make the top part of the graduation hat. I'm going to condition some more of this super sculpty clay, and I'll be right back.